There are around 1,000 days of your life that you will never remember. Not because nothing happened, because everything did. You learned to see. You learned you had hands. You pulled language out of thin air, worked out that the giant faces above you were people, and fell completely in love with them. It was the most explosive period of learning you will ever go through, and you can't recall a single second of it. Try right now. Reach back as far as you can. You'll hit a wall somewhere around age 3 or 4, with nothing but darkness before it. We have a name for this: infantile amnesia. And most people assume the reason is obvious. You were just a baby. Your brain was too undeveloped to record anything, so there's nothing there to remember. Simple. Except that explanation is almost certainly wrong, because a brand new study just found something genuinely unsettling. Those memories may not be gone at all. They might still be in there, locked in a room you've lost the key to. So let's go find the wall at the edge of your memory and figure out what's really on the other side of it. Because the answer is stranger than just forgetting. Start with the thing everyone gets wrong. The old story goes, babies can't form memories, full stop. But that's not true, and it's easy to prove. A baby remembers your face. A baby learns the word for dog. A baby who got a painful jab at the doctor will start crying the instant they're carried back into that room months later. They are clearly recording. So the mystery was never, why can't babies make memories? They can. The real mystery is far weirder. Why do those memories get erased, specifically and reliably, in nearly every human on Earth, at around the same age? To answer that, you have to look at what's physically happening inside a baby's brain, and it's the exact opposite of what you'd expect. The memory center of your brain is a small, seahorse-shaped structure called the hippocampus. And in a baby, the hippocampus isn't quiet or underpowered. It's a construction site in overdrive. It's building brand new neurons at a furious pace, a process called neurogenesis, faster than it ever will again for the rest of your life. And here's the twist that flips everything. You'd assume more new brain cells means better memory. It's the reverse. In a landmark set of experiments, neuroscientists Paul Franklin and Sheena Jocelyn worked with baby mice, which have infantile amnesia just like we do. When they artificially slowed down the birth of new neurons in the baby mice, something remarkable happened. The babies kept their memories, and when they cranked neurogenesis back up in adult mice, who normally remember just fine, the adults started forgetting. Read that again. Adding new brain cells didn't build memory. It wiped it out. So picture what's actually happening in your infant brain. You form a memory. It's stored as a specific pattern of connections between a specific set of neurons. But your hippocampus is a construction site, jackhammering thousands of new cells into that circuit every single day. Each new neuron wires itself in and shoves the existing connections around, overwriting the pattern. The memory doesn't fade, it gets built over. Your earliest memories were written in wet cement, and then your own brain kept pouring fresh concrete on top, day after day, until the original was gone. And we know it really is the construction work doing it, because in those mouse experiments, it ran both ways. Slow the building down, and the memories survive. Speed it back up, and they vanish, even in an adult. The forgetting wasn't an accident of a weak brain. It was a direct side effect of a brain growing as fast as it possibly could. You didn't lose those years despite how hard your brain was working. You lost them because of it. But hold on. If this were only the hippocampus overwriting itself, that's not really terrifying. It's just biological forgetting. So let me tell you the part that genuinely unsettles the scientists who study this. For decades, everyone assumed those early memories were destroyed, overwritten, erased, gone. Case closed. Then, in March of 2025, a team at Yale led by Nick Turk-Brown did something that had never been done. They put awake babies inside an MRI scanner and watched their brains in real time while showing them new images, and the hippocampus lit up. When a baby's hippocampus fired hard while seeing something new, that baby was far more likely to recognize the image later. The memories were being encoded, cleanly, measurably, from as early as 12 months old, which forces a chilling new possibility. What if infantile amnesia was never a recording problem at all? What if it's a retrieval problem? The memories may not have been deleted. They may still be filed away in your brain, intact, and you have simply, permanently lost the address. There may be a version of your first birthday, your first steps, the first time you ever focused on your mother's face, sitting in your head right now. You just can't get into the room it's in. So why does the wall land where it does, around age 3 or 4 for almost everyone? Because forming the memory in the hippocampus is only half the job. To keep a memory, and to know that it's yours, you need 2 more things, and a baby doesn't have them yet. The first is language. Before you have words, you have no way to structure an experience. No then, no because, no yesterday. Studies that follow children as they learn to talk find that the ones with stronger language skills go on to keep earlier and richer memories. Words are the shelving system. Without them, the experience still happens, but there's nowhere to file it. The second is even stranger, a sense of self. An autobiographical memory, the kind you can actually recall, needs an auto, a me that it happened to, and a baby doesn't fully have one yet. Until around age 2, a child doesn't reliably even recognize themselves as a separate person in the world. And you can't store the memory of the time I did this until there's a stable I for it to happen to. So your very first experiences weren't just unfiled. There was, in a sense, no one there yet to file them under. But here's the piece that should stay with you. Just because you can't consciously recall those years does not mean they left no mark. They may have left the deepest marks of all. Because while your hippocampus was busy erasing the events, another structure, the amygdala, your brain's emotional core, was already online, and it comes online earlier. It doesn't store facts, it stores feelings. So the specific memory of being comforted, or ignored, or frightened is gone, but the emotional imprint of it can stay, wired in beneath conscious reach. And this is the truly haunting part. The events of your first years were swept away, but how those years felt may have quietly become part of your baseline, shaping how safe you feel in the world, how you handle stress, how easily you trust, running underneath your entire life from a place you can never actually remember. So let's go back to that wall at the edge of your memory. Behind it are the 1,000 most important days of your life, the days you became a person. And here's what the science now tells us is really back there. It's not empty, it's not nothing. It's a room that may still be full of faces and firsts and feelings, sealed behind a door your growing brain locked as it built you, throwing away the key in the process. You didn't forget being a baby. Your brain hid it from you, and it may still be in there, right now, in the dark, just out of reach. So that's the strange truth of it. The person you can't remember becoming is the one who shaped everything you are. If this changed how you think about that blank space at the start of your life, tell me in the comments, what's the very first memory you actually have, and how old were you? I read them all. Subscribe if you want more of the mind explained properly, and I'll see you in the next one.